looking in my eyes. And we alive.
Oh my God. Caught in the
Hello,
act.
hello,
Caught in the
hello.
act
Uh,
talking about spirit dolls.
right, so me and Sean was having a little bit of a chat before we hang on, how do I do this now? Right, okay. Hello guys. I don't know whether there's anybody here or not. Hang on a second. Let me just type that in the chat. Are we here? Yes, we are. Right, hello, Mel. Can you see the comments, Sean, on the right-hand
I
side?
can't. And even if I could, I wouldn't be able to read them with these glasses on, to be honest with
Okay, no worry. Anyway,
you.
thank you all for being.
I'm at that stage. There's multiple pairs of glasses in all day,
Totally
and
true.
these are very focal, so I need about 10 pairs. But yeah,
They're terrible, aren't they? Honestly, oh God, Sean. We've just been talking, but it's backstage. Me and Sean have just been talking about being in our 50s. Right, so yeah. I said, oh, hello, Sarah. Oh, yeah, Elspeth. Um, Tonight we've got the wonderful Sean. Hello. We've got the wonderful Sean Ryan here. Welcome, Sean.
thank you. Welcome everybody, and thanks for having me, Martin.
Oh, you're welcome. This is the
Lovely to
this
have a chat. I mean, this is literally like us having a chat, isn't it? Which
It
is
is, yeah. You know, we're just going to have a chat and a chill. And this is the second time you've been on. You come on here about 3 years ago, didn't you? Something like
no,
that.
it's the first time. I don't think I've ever been on live with you.
You have?
Have I?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
God, it really frightens me because I've got
Few
usually
years
quite a
ago,
good
yeah.
memory.
I think it was just, oh, yeah, Han, I think it was just after COVID, you know.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
remember that at all.
I know, long time.
I know.
So anyway, for those of you who don't know, Sean is a artist, a shamanic practitioner, a drum maker. The list goes on and on and on. So the reason why I've asked Sean, I Saskia, the reason why I've asked Sean to come on tonight is because Sean's been working really, really hard, over the last few years, and when me and Sean first got to know each other, Sean used to use these cards, and I say, Sean, what's that? Those cards? And he said, oh, I've drawn these, and I kept on and on and on and on and on as I do. And Sean knows you need to make an oracle deck, and so like eventually he did, and it's just everybody knows who knows me from Instagram and on here, knows how much love I've got for this, and it's probably because obviously Sean created it, and I know him, and we're friends, and I don't know, but it's just really opened everything up for me, and so I want to talk about, right, okay. Obviously, these are the cards for hello, man. These are the cards, Sean. This is all Sean's artwork, and I want to talk about like why you chose the particular animal, the process, and was there elimination process? I bet you had literally hundreds of animals, didn't you?
I didn't have hundreds, but I had more than I needed. I when you first saw these in, gosh, 2001, maybe 2001, 2021, just after COVID, I had 52 in that deck, and life kind of got a bit weird for
Yeah.
me around that time, like it does for many people. If anyone knows astrology, uh, transit Pluto squared my nodes, so everything went a bit weird. And I ended up moving house and moving around and doing all kinds of caring for people who were at end of life, and which is a theme of my sort of work and life, really. And what I ended up doing was I continued painting and continued creating the images throughout that period. So by the time of editing the deck, I had about 80 images, artworks. But this is over 10 years, so it's like some of them could take 6 months and some of them could be much quicker. But then I don't know if you remember, Martin, it was all those years ago talking about the book and how the book was kind of holding me back a bit
I do. I very much do.
because people like a book, and I was conflicted was I always wanted the images to people to create their own relationship with the images rather than me just tell them what they are. So it took me a long time to come up with a solution that was a combination of the two. So, because hopefully, what people will understand from the book is that it's an invitation to create your own relationship. Now, there's nothing wrong if just enjoying the image as it is. And there's, but I would encourage someone to work with it and actually sort of make up your own relationship, use it as a conduit to sort of enter into a slightly deeper experience. And there's also nothing wrong just going, that's a nice image, because it works on that level as well. But that's so getting back to the amount of animals, annoyingly, when I started working on the book, which I made by taking an animal or an image at a time and wandering around the woods and making notes and journeying and creating the backstory, if you like. What I found was after a little while, the book became its own energy,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
something started coming through I didn't have bloody images for. so I had too many images, but I then found myself having to make new images for the book. So the
I
book started
understand.
guiding the images. So yeah, it's been so yeah. In short, there's a
It's
lot of
just
artwork.
I mean, Maria Louisa says, "Hi, Martin and Sean. Just
Hello.
got the deck days ago. So excited to work with this." Aldonna says, "My deck just left the UK. I am so excited." So we know that you've built yourself up now, this little kind of fan base, yeah.
Uh,
So
well,
it's absolutely lovely to see because you know the thing is in this like kind of like business with the tarot and the oracle and things, so many indie deck creators really get overlooked. I mean, some obviously are more successful than others, and that's totally fine. But like, I mean, when you see like something really, really special, and this is, I mean, if you love working with animal energy, or this is your first foray into working with animal energy, as Sean said, you haven't really got to, you can build up your own relationship, with frog and what frog means to you, frog medicine. Um, and I've been using it every day since I had it, and it's become part of my daily practice. And it really is. Sean, your artwork, there's something incredibly alive about your artwork. So with your artwork anyway, so do you kind of like what inspires you to do what you do? Where's your inspiration come from?
it always starts with journey work, really, meditative journey work. If people don't know what journey work is, it's basically a meditative process. You can either use a drum or a percussive instrument like a rattle, or you can just meditate. But it's effectively I enter another space, and the animals or the spirits come through as they want to. So that's why some of the animals in here are not your standard animals that you see in other decks, like
I was
lobster
gonna
and
ask you that, yeah.
limpet and stuff. And so I just kind of honored that really, rather than try to go, oh, I must have, must have a wolf, must have a coyote, I must have all this stuff. It was literally whatever comes through in the journey space. Now, my journeying process has really evolved since I started working animistically.
Yeah.
So, if people don't understand what animism is, it's the belief that everything has spirit. So, a piece of wood has a spirit. Um, an animal obviously has a spirit, but actually, a phone has a spirit. Everything has a spirit. So it's like if you're an animist, you think everything has a spirit. So it's honoring whatever wanted to come through. And here's the other little weird kind of thing about being an animal deck is they don't always come through as animals. so so sometimes in the the journey space, they'll come through as an abstract image or an energetic image. So, and almost as I started painting, the image will come through. So, for example, I can give you an exact example of this.
I was going
This
to
is
ask you a question.
this is
Uh,
not in the deck, but this is one I'm working on at the moment. But
oh,
all of
painting.
this background, that's what came through before the Starling there. So, so I spent actually months on that particular painting, just painting the background, and that became the meditation. And then in time, Starling started sort of coming out, and I've never painted a Starling before, and there's a whole backstory which I won't share with you right now, but that's how it happens, you know. So, like for example, lobster, a bit of a strange one, lobster, but actually a really fantastic energy, and there's so much medicine in lobster because I don't know if you know that I didn't know that lobsters when they grow they have to get rid of their shell, and while they're naked without shells they sit under a rock growing a new shell.
No, I did not.
And yeah, that's what they do. They cast their shells. And how do they know when to cast a shell? It's pain. They hurt lobsters. This is why we shouldn't eat lobsters. You know, we certainly shouldn't boil them alive.
I
So
wouldn't anyway.
lobsters start being in pain. And so the message there is, you know, sometimes some of the most painful experiences we have
A
are
transformative.
the transformational. Yeah, absolutely. You know, so sometimes pain, as awful as it is a key for transformation and growth. And that obviously alludes to the whole idea of what healing is, you know,
Yeah.
because some so-called healers think it's just about taking pain away, but you know, oftentimes that is actually disempowering someone,
Yeah,
you know.
you know, it's you know, I think that I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier this week, and I think that you have to sometimes, Sean, you have to go down. We've had a similar conversation, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah,
You have to go down the darkest depths and feel the worst pain ever
yeah.
to kind of transform yourself, like a phoenix from the flame, as a metaphoric, you know, a metaphor.
Absolutely, absolutely. I did 4 years of sweat loss training, and what I learned a lot from those 4 years, from working in a sort of environment where people are bringing their most vulnerable sides for
Yeah, of
not
course.
necessarily healing, but of course, ultimately for healing. But oftentimes, it's just to kind of really feel it. And what I learned a lot in that process. But one of the fundamentals is when someone's going through a painful experience, is to sit with them.
Yeah.
You know, you can hold their hand, but not to take it away, because you know it's like that discomfort. If someone's crying, let them cry. You know, don't
You
stop
have
them
to.
crying. You know, that might be the biggest healing ever. And as we know, you know, cortisol is excreted through tears, so it literally is a painkiller.
Yeah.
But quite often people try and stop people crying for their own discomfort. You know, but you're absolutely right. And there's tons of, I think the reason it took so long as well, the deck, is there's loads of real life experience, you know, in the images. Like one of the images was painted at the moment when my sister died. It was kind of a vision I had the minute she died, and I painted it in the days after she died in 2020, and I sat with the image for some years actually, and then I realized it was okay to share this. So that's the long tail tit image is actually that came from that moment, you know. So it's a really visceral experience and a different kind of journey. You know, it's like journey work for me has evolved. It's not just about drumming. It's sometimes you enter. I mean, everybody must have encountered moments of inspiration in the shower. I think that's really interesting. Often when you're driving, often when you're exercising, it doesn't have to be. But I think the most important thing is intention. Is if you're intending to receive. Maybe not even some questions, some answers, some questions. I mean, I love it drives my partner mad, and he'll say to me, he'll pull a card, or what does wild horse mean? And my answer, I always say, what does it mean to you?
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. What does it mean to you? That's just
Yeah,
your opinion, innit?
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, we've got a question. So, oh, we haven't. Hang on. I have a one-legged stallion who has been visiting me for 4 years now. He has a big personality to make up for it. Obviously, he can't grip to feed like the others, so relies more on ground feeding. So maybe that's, a kind of medicine for eunuchs, you know what I mean? Why
Yeah,
you keep seeing this one-legged stallion all the time. So, I was going to ask you, Sean, that actually, but you've answered it when you said like you didn't think to yourself, "Oh, I'm going to intentionally paint a whatever," so that you kind of come to you what you was going to like kind of work with after.
yeah, exactly. And the frustration of that is, if you honor that, there isn't really a logic. So, for example, I had about six hairs. Now logically, I should have painted a hair. I moved on to something else,
Yeah,
and I had about six horses, and I could probably paint stags for the rest of my life. So all these, particular animals wanted me to work with them.
this
Uh,
card here that I've got, right? The bat card.
oh, okay.
Is that a star being underneath the bat?
Um, what what do you think it is?
Well, I think it looks like a star being.
Okay.
Is it?
Well,
Is it supposed to be, or is it just?
it's supposed to be. I'm not trying to be deliberately obtuse, but it's supposed to be what you see.
Okay.
Um,
So,
I mean,
this-
it was very much about a different kind of hearing. Somebody
right, because
hear
as
a
soon as I
different
pulled
level.
this card,
Hmm.
let me tell you the story behind it.
Please
So,
do. Yeah. No, I love this. I love hearing this. Go
I
ahead.
got the deck from the hen shop, yeah,
Yeah.
because it was that super hot where your skin was falling off your face day. I went and sat under the stones because it's pretty cool there, isn't it? And so, like, I eagerly ripped the deck open. And then I was looking through, and then I shuffled and that. And I bought one of the little elfin skulls
Oh,
from
I
the
love them. They're amazing, aren't they?
yeah.
I come from there. Yeah.
And I've got the little skull on the ground like a little kind of velvet bag. And then this came up, and then I thought, oh my God, that looks like the little elfin skull that's in the that I've just bought from the shop. Um, and I read, obviously, I read the entry in the guidebook. And to this day, this will always remind me of that time in Avebury when I opened the deck and I had the Elvin skull. And so for me, this means to me, um, leaving yourself open to kind of messages from higher source and things like that. That's what this card particularly means to me. Plus, I was sitting under the standing stones as well. So that was a really profound moment with me with my first card pulled from this deck as well, and obviously there's the bat. We can see the bat. um but yeah, I just love this so far. So what I'm going to ask, will you do a deck next with star beans on it, please, just for me?
Uh, the truth is, I'm going to show you something now. Actually,
Okay.
the guy who creates the crystal skulls at the hen shop, he has he's done a new one. I can't remember what he calls, but it's basically
I've got that, Sean, but
you got
mine's a
that. So
I
this is supposed to represent
ether in
next,
it.
the next evolution of the human race.
Yeah, it's spelt AIOFE, but it's the pronunciation is ether, I think.
That's right. That's right. You got this.
I
So
have, but using that not the Preseli blue stone, the other stone from the UK. Let me just get mine. You'll have to bear with me.
Yeah, go and get it. Anyway, can you still hear me? I mean, basically, the back card when I was making it was
There you go.
yes, yeah, amazing.
They're really cool, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really cool. They're
Yeah,
really
I absolutely
they're,
love it. Oh, nobody's seen this on my feed yet. Yeah, so
and
this.
I mean, I love it because it's the reason I pulled it over is when I was making the bat image, it was about a sort of higher consciousness, if you like,
Yeah.
when because I have a suspicion that we've just forgotten a lot of our abilities. That
Oh,
we just
totally.
need to remember
Yeah,
that, you know.
we have. I think we've had kind of a memory wipe when we were coming to this world.
Yeah, yeah. And it's about becoming who we always were, maybe, rather than a sort of
And don't you think now that people are kind of, you know, you see all this rubbish, don't you, on social media saying people have had an awakening. But you know what? Maybe it's not rubbish. You know, maybe people are waking up to the consciousness now because humanity really is pretty shitty in it at the minute.
yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't if you can see that image behind me on the wall that
Okay.
looks like a dolphin. This one there, if I point
Yeah.
to it there, that was I painted that as a kind of part psychopomp, which people don't know what that means. It means soul guide. So a soul guide for for the next stage of us. It feels like so much is coming to an end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like I mean, you know, I can't even bear to look at the news at the moment, but it feels
No,
like
I don't. You know, I have had such like a fantastic year. You know, the
I am trying to, and I hope the cards will enable people to do that as well. Is
yeah,
to kind of
you
deepen
know,
your
it,
experience, you know.
it is like a more of a grounded
Mm.
kind of a practice what I'm doing now, and I don't think I'm doing a practice, Sean. I think I'm just living the way I was meant to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think it's important. And as you say, like, you know, why not kind of appreciate the time you've got here instead of trying to escape it by thinking all this 5D consciousness and all this nonsense. You know,
It's true. It's you know what? It sounds like a really simple principle, this, and it will probably upset a lot of people as well. But you know, so many of the received spiritual traditions and religious traditions, and many of the New Age spiritual traditions espouse the same idea that this is a load of rubbish and some point we're going to get enlightenment and it's going to be great, but what if this is the price
yeah, exactly.
with it and earth, you know, rather than constantly waiting for nirvana from another source. But
Well, yeah,
that might be the words of a 50-year-old guy as well, you know, because it's like, you know, as you get a bit older. Although, you know, I've got loads of mates who died when they were bloody 20, you know.
yeah.
So,
So me too. You know, and I just think, Sean, you know what? We can only expect. We are only here once, so why not just accept it and just make the bloody best of it while you can?
mm,
Because you'd never know what's around the corner. I'd like to come back as now if I had a choice.
what was you? Me, I'd like
Mm,
to come back as Star, I think.
a star.
Hmm. Or
Mm,
maybe one of my favorite um, things I heard on my travels was that the Earth is a reincarnated ascended master who decided to become the Earth. Which,
mm.
you know, it's is it a story? Is it real? Is it an imaginal experience? It's really enjoyable for me, that as an idea.
I've been down that pathway when I've read about all these ascended. I've read Dolores Cannon books, you know what I mean? For God's sake.
Yeah.
You know, you
What
couldn't
would
get no
you
more
be?
out.
What would you be then? What would you be if you were going to come
Um,
back as a
yeah,
non-human?
probably so I can sit on somebody's lap and get stroked all day.
Look,
You know what I mean?
I must admit, cats seem to have it down, don't they?
Yeah,
Cats are really cool.
yeah, probably a
Yeah,
cat.
I like the idea that we can come back as different things, rather than because you probably know as well, that a lot of the Eastern ideas of reincarnation really were brought to us through the Theosophical Society. It's
Yeah,
relatively new
yeah,
to and so certainly, when part of my life was, I'm still, studying with the sort of Obod, the Druids, and that I'm very much a hedge Druid. I don't really practice in groups, but what that's given me is an appreciation of the cycles, which I really like.
Did
You
you
know,
study with Obod then, Sean?
yeah, since 2010. So it's kind of always in the background of, and someone said to me, actually, is that where the blessings came from the book? Kind of indirectly, there's the Celtic blessings called triads. So there may be an influence, and certainly John O'Donoghue, who I absolutely love, as
Oh gosh, yeah, he's
uh,
good.
yeah, just I love him, and his. I think I was, in fact, the guy who gave me this, guy from the hen shop, also gave me a John O'Donoghue's book on beauty, because I don't know if I was discussing how to do this with you all those years ago, but I remember talking to him because he owns the hen shop. And I was going, what do I do? Do I make this on really expensive stock and print it in the UK and make it as lovely as I can make it? Or do I kind of, go offshore and stuff? And his answer was, he gave me John O'Donoghue's book on beauty.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And he said, make something as beautiful as you can make it, because that's what the world needs. And actually, beauty is, it's been much derided as a superficial thing or even a luxury item, but it's actually just food. It's beautiful things are food. For
Yeah, yeah.
food. Of
Love
course.
John O'Donoghue's work as well. It's just
Oh,
so brilliant, Sean, isn't it?
I know. He met him actually. He
Did
used
it?
to know him, yeah, and he said he was just a gifted talker. He was just
Yeah,
he was just, and he died quite young, didn't he? But I
yeah.
love that book. I love, and I love Beatitudes. Have you got that? The one, his blessings book.
I've got that. Yeah, actually, I looked at that earlier
It's such,
today.
such a great book, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's brilliant, isn't it? I just love it so much.
But
I'll tell you what I did have, Sean. I'll tell you what I bought, and I still can't. I don't know. I can't get my head around it. And I ain't being disrespectful. It's just me.
no, God, no, don't be that.
The Celtic Shaman by
Oh,
Matthew-
Caitlin
John.
Matthews, Kathleen, that
John.
one. Oh, John Matthews.
Yeah. I just I find I've always said, and I've tried and tried and tried over the years, John, but I do find the Matthews work a bit too academic for me. It
Same. I can't. I really like
brings it
them.
back a bit.
Yeah, if I'm honest with you, and again, I'm going to get cancelled for saying this, but I do find a lot of Celtica um, quite overly academic.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just because I'm a bit dumb. I don't know, but
I
I
can't say
kind
that
of.
myself, but I tend to think I tend to take anybody else's work on board. It's just theirs, even their decks. I'm they're really academic. There's like you've got to put it in this placement. You've got to put 10 cards down before you can read one. You know what I mean? Think, oh Jesus, right? So yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's probably why I made myself a T-shirt saying 21st century hedge druid. I always end up. I think someone said to me years ago, and of course there are millions of kinds of druids, but somebody said to me at a druid camp. I only went to a couple of druid camps, but somebody said to me, "There's two kinds. There's the intellectual ones,
yeah.
and there's the ones that go into the woods and bang a drum." And I'm clearly in the other camp. Do you know what I mean? And
Well,
you
which
know.
brings me on to look what I've got by me. Look,
Oh,
that's my baby, Sean. That is.
how are you finding it?
Oh, I just love it so much, honestly. I mean, I took it out Saturday, I was drumming by the river, and it was just
Fantastic.
amazing.
Fantastic.
Um, and I did what you said about leaving it, by me in bed. Well, not actually, guys. I wasn't sleeping with it under my pillow. I just left it by the bed, because Sean said for 3 nights, didn't you, and things like that. And it's just incredible. It just the sound. I'm so used to the sound now,
Mm.
and you can. I don't know. I can hear things, hear another sound from the sound. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so, like, this is just. Oh, by the way, guys, Sean is a drum maker. If you just joined, um, so yeah, it's just amazing, and I don't know. I wished I'd have had one years ago.
Well, you have things at the right time, don't you?
Yeah, I think they come into your life at the time when you need them, don't they? You know what I
And
mean?
I mean, mostly I don't really make that many drums a year, and mostly they're kind of bespoke creations. And I usually say to people, your drum's already in existence. You're just waiting to meet it.
Yeah,
So you've been waiting to meet that drum, and
yeah,
that's and
yeah.
that it will be interesting. What I haven't told you yet is when you because I'm very into relationships with things. Once you deepen your relationship with the drum, ask it for its name, because it will give you a unique name,
Okay.
so it'll be really interesting,
I just love, what I love because it's so personal is the inscription that you've put on the inside as well with the pyrography. It's just amazing, Sean.
Well, that was a departure really, because I went down to the Healing Weekend in Somerset a few weeks ago, and I normally make drums to order for bespoke, but I just thought I'd try making a few drums which were inspired by the cards. So I literally, so that drum was Rooster, and this one here, which I still have left, which is probably going to be kept. This was Owl. So I made this one based on the owl card.
Oh God.
And this was on a willow hoop. So I'll have to remind myself of what I wrote on here, what I paragraphed, because a bit like you were saying before with your spirit dolls, that quite often when you're making this stuff, you don't remember afterwards, do you? Because you kind of enter an altered state, and you don't actually remember that much. It's the same with readings. I mean, I don't know if quite often with readings, some lovely lady came to me, and she'd had a reading a year before, and she just connected the two, and I was like, I've got to be honest with you, it's been a year. I do not remember a thing about the reading a year ago.
So are you doing readings? I mean, because you've used this deck, well, most of it, haven't you? Because there was only 52 cards. So do you know this deck then? Is this what you use for readings all the time
Well,
then?
I've been doing tarot readings and shamanic readings for some time. I mean, I've been using tarot for 30 years and
What
older.
deck do you use, Sean, for your tarot readings?
Um, I've I've got several, as you could quite imagine, but my favourite one is, she's very old and battered now, is Liz Green's Mythic Tarot. So she's the
Oh,
one I
that's
really
it's a
like.
blast from the past.
I know, such a great deck though.
Amazing. This is
It's-
where like psychology and tarot cross paths, isn't it?
yeah, well, and I really like Liz Green, like
Like
most
me.
people, astrology.
Yeah.
I really like Liz Green, and you
Now
know,
I thought you'd be like, because of who you are, the way you are. Now I thought you'd be like a very druid craftsman deck.
I have used the Druid Craft. It's not a regular one for me. If um, I do use the TOF. My second favorite deck is, it's a bit of a retro 70s thing. This it's called the Cat Tarot with all the afros. Do you know that one?
Oh, Tarot of the Cat People.
Yeah, I love that.
Amazing. I just love it.
I love it, and that's a really interesting story, because in 2005, a guy I was sharing a studio space with bought me that tarot for Christmas, 2005 or 4, and we kind of moved on in life, and I hadn't seen him for a long time. And just after the pandemic, the door went, and I'd always really thought, oh, I used to really love that tarot. Where is it? Where is it? You know, and the door went, and he'd found it in his desk, and he
No
posted.
way.
So at 15 years, I was separated,
Oh,
and
wow.
probably here now. And
Did you, Sean, did you happen to get, I've got it somewhere. Did you have the little journey guide with the deck?
with which deck? With the cat people?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know if I've still got it.
Because that's a separate little companion book, but it tells you about the 4 different worlds where each race.
Oh God, I didn't even know. Maybe I haven't got it. You know.
Look at this with 9 Worlds Tarot says, I've just looked up Sean's Oracle. Stunning. One of the best animal decks I've ever seen, to be honest. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very
Very
much.
nice.
That's
Just
really
been
lovely.
talking about it on here. This is Sean's deck in the flesh. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
yes,
mean, back to the druid thing though. I don't really I have used the druid plant oracle. I actually really like the
plants
plant
and the
oracle.
animal are nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are nice. Yeah, I do like them. Them a bit old school now, ain't
Back to
they?
tarot. I mean, I got a bit traditional. Quite like Marseille. You know, quite It's
We've
just
got a recommendation here. If you love Tarot of the Cat People, I can recommend the book The Sparrow by Maria Dora Russell.
oh well.
Mel, can you text me that, please?
I'm going to write that down. I've got a post-it note here.
Write it down, Sean. The Sparrow. It's on screen.
Yeah, got it.
Maria Dora Russell. Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Mel. I think with the cat people though, I just love all the afros and the kind of slightly.
Very kind of futuristic 70s, isn't it?
It's really 70s, which I
Futuristic,
really,
Sean. It's brilliant.
I just love it. I love it.
Yeah,
But
it's
but
you're right.
I've been using when I got to when I was doing when I had the 52 card deck, I used to kind of supplement the readings with my oracle, and then recently I've started working just with the oracle on its own, and that was kind of forced on me. I was at a show somewhere, and you can see these are a bit wobbly.
Yeah.
I spilled a load of water on these cards, and I was doing readings, and I was kind of it was the only deck I had with me, and I was forced to start doing readings just with it on its own, which I kind of love it when that happens, when the universe goes, no, 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 no.
Its own.
Yeah, you know.
Mary, Sean, it's Mary, not Maria.
Oh, Mary, got you.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Mel. So, like, did it kind of like change everything then? So, did you like kind
Yeah,
of like,
completely. And it was almost um like just like a little doorway sometimes you need to go through, isn't it? It's probably the same sometimes. It's like I did similar thing happened with drum making. I said to somebody, I'm not making drums anymore. I'm just going to stop that. And at that point, the painting of the stag fell off the wall. I was like, okay, maybe things just need to change, because the thing is, things just change and evolve all the time, don't they?
Right, so Neil said, I'm a bit behind in the stream, but Hen Shop is really cool. Hen Shop is lovely.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Really
great.
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice. I love that. It's like a little treasure trove of gifts, isn't it?
I just love it. But I particularly love the crystals there. You know, I think they're really great.
Yeah,
I
but
used
that crystal room where the skulls are, when you
Yeah,
walk in there, it's like walking in somewhere special in it.
yeah.
It
It's
is.
funny because I don't normally kind of like this kind of thing, but somehow what they do there, it's like another level. I love the elves. You know, they really feel kind of like out there. Have you seen the palm stones, the dragon palm stones?
I have, yeah, they're
Oh my God,
nice.
I love them so much. And
Yeah.
I had one and I lost it, but I need to get myself another
These
one.
I've meditated with this, Sean, this little head. Um, and it's so cool. And I forgot what the stone is now. It's the UK stone, not the Preseli Blue stone. It's another one. I forgot where it is. Because you get the little certificates with them, don't you, when you order them, when you buy them?
I mean, to be honest with you, I can't remember, but I do love this, and the reason I pulled it out was it really somehow resonates with that back card that you had before, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that little star being that
What is interesting about the cards as a collection, though, is I mentioned it in the book as a collection. There's a kind of collective spirit as well, which I think is quite interesting to work with, and that came to me um, a couple of years before I managed to get the deck together, um, and sometimes you tend to forget to use things, don't you? You know, like I was working on this deck and I was in the bath and the message came through, you know, we're all here for you. You know, it's not just about an animal, we're all here for you. And it's quite a moment, that, isn't it? You tend to kind of forget that, you know, I know it sounds very woo-woo to some people, but we are actually really supported, you know. And
yeah.
I think that's a really lovely idea, isn't it? That however, whatever language you want to use, we have allies, you know,
Well,
and
however you see, whether you see it as spirit animals, angels, guides, whatever, you know, we are. Um, and this is just it's a lovely conversation. It's not Caesar stone. It's I forgot what it's called. I'll find out. It's only some. It's either from Wales or somewhere else, or up Northumberland.
I think yeah, I don't know, the Preseli stones from Wales, isn't it? The
Stone from
blue.
Wales. The Stonehenge stone. Which is the Avebury stone? What's that made from?
Which one? The actual.
Yeah, yeah, the stones.
Um, well, I can't tell you. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean,
What Stonehenge made from? Preseli blue stone in it.
the middle ones are made from Preseli stone, and the outer ones were transported from a forest called Westwoods, which is just outside of Avebury, which is interesting. They discovered that quite recently, and Westwood is where Westwood. If you live in Wiltshire, like I did, Westwood is kind of where if you're a witch, a shaman, whatever you want to practice, there's an altar in those woods, right? So it's really. If you walk through the woods, it looks a bit like Blair Witch Project. You'll see like melting candles, and there's all these like circles because loads of people go to these woods, and so that was where I had my very first drum experience, was in Westwoods, actually. And then they found out, I think, a couple of years ago, that's where the bigger stones came from. So they came from Wiltshire, and the blue stones came from uh, Preseli down in
Yeah,
South.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, next time you're in Wiltshire, maybe I'll take you there one day. The Westwoods
Oh, yeah, I'd
might
love that. I'd
be
love
might be
that.
based. I got cursed in the Westwoods because I was at some witchy drum circle a long time ago now, like maybe 15, 20 years ago. And it was Beltane, and somebody jumped over the bonfire with very long blonde hair, and a hair caught fire. Only a little, you know, nothing serious. There wasn't like no harm was done. And I just got the giggles because I just think you have to have a light touch with spirituality. I think, you know what I mean. It can't just be serious. So I got the giggles. So I'm there in my cape and I'm kind of shaking. And then next thing, someone was like, you're disrespecting this circle. I was like, I'm not. I'm just having fun. You know, I'm having, someone just jumped over the bonfire and caught her hair on fire. She thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. Can't we just have some fun, you know? And so yeah, that was my Westwood, and the lady, by the way, was fine, and she's a very good friend of mine. So she didn't
Just
have.
as well, innit? You know.
It was only a little. It's like a little firework, but it was quite funny because there were people throwing handfuls of like.
Mind you, in all fairness, Sean, I'd have been in bitch, you know. So, like, I mean,
On. It was funny, but it is. But I think, you know, I do think it's nice to have a light touch with spiritual things.
oh yeah, you know, the trouble is as well, people like, you know, take themselves far too seriously, and you know, they wonder why like they can't get like any kind of information coming or because
Yeah, because if you're really tight, funny
oh,
enough, I
look,
just pulled a card, right? And it's really interesting because I got the Badger card from the deck. Now, do you remember when you were in Avebury last and I sent you a message about Windmill Hill? I don't know if you
yes.
go to Windmill Hill, but this card happened on Windmill Hill. So I went over to Windmill Hill, which is this beautiful hill which you can see from the stone circle, and you go through the graveyard and you turn west, and you'll get to this beautiful hill site. And it was a really relevant site, and because it's this bridge between the Mesolithic, when we started farming, and the Neolithic, and they know that because they found ancient cow bones and farm cow bones
Okay.
first time in England, in Britain. And so it's quite an important site. So I went up there with my drum, summer's day. Lee went off for a wander into the woods, and I started drumming, and I started seeing literally this card, which was naked people with badger heads, and
Is
and
there
so I
no
went,
people on that?
yeah, because it's a human body. I might have painted out the private parts a little bit for the camera.
Sarsen Stone, so Sean.
Yeah, the Parsons nose. It's definitely
Sars-
there.
no, Sarsen Stone.
Oh, it's Sarsen, right?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah,
thought you
right.
were calling. So I was painting. I painted that, and that is literally about dancing naked. It's about enjoying your body, enjoying your time. So it's interesting that came up just as I was talking about um, a slightly lighter approach to spirituality and
Yeah, you have to, you have to. There's another one. This is another face. I'm wrong, are you going to tell me it's not?
no, but first of all, you see what you see, and so I wouldn't correct you. But yeah, that is a fact. That was the being that appeared next to my sister's deathbed the minute she died.
Okay.
So yeah. So I,
Now, oh yeah, I can see now.
but it's
Oh
okay for you to see what
yeah,
you see.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's like a
see.
blue black face. Oh, you got the badger. Yeah, the badger dancing. So
Yeah.
that was a Windmill Hill badger.
Right, so anyway, for those of you who have got the deck, you've probably noticed in the back of Sean's, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, Martin, shut up."
What
You
now?
probably you've probably seen in the back of Sean's guidebook, right? Coming soon. Oracle of the Psychopomps, the Vision. So you all know that I'm just going to keep going on and on and on and on and on at Sean. For another deck. In with Sean.
Yeah, and it is coming. I just need to buckle down and do it. I mean, I have some images already. It's quite different from this deck. I think it will be. I don't know whether I'm limiting it. I feel like it might be slightly narrower because again, a lot of people know about animals and spirit animals. Psychopomps is slightly different um, subject matter, but the connection is thresholds really, because psychopomp traditionally would be a being to escort the soul from in transition from this life to wherever it needs to go. And I say that lightly because in different traditions she goes different places.
Yeah.
So honoring all traditions, but also there is a different kind of threshold. Like for example, the golden dolphin on the wall here, that's a psychopomp being. For
Yeah.
me, it's not about helping a soul tran- through a threshold. That's helping the whole culture. So you probably can't see it very well, but there's quite a lot of red blood around the umbilicus, and that's about the midwifery of the birth that comes after the death, if you like. So that's the kind of vibe of the next deck. So yeah, so I'm working on it.
You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
And Sean did say in the back of his guidebook, right?
I did, and you know what? I did that for that very reason. I did that because I know I will be distracted with a million projects because I've got two other projects on the go. One is the expanded guidebook for this deck.
Oh yeah, yeah, we forgot to mention that there is going to be an expanded guidebook.
Yeah, well, because I had so much information, because I work in the most illogical way. I had I had these enormous amounts of information for these cards in these images, and then I realized I had a couple of hundred words per page. So I was like, "Ooh." So I've got that, and I've also got another project which I'm working on, which is to do with astrology and exploration of the symbols of astrological symbols as a kind of conduit to symbolic connection, if that makes sense,
Brilliant. So
rather than fiction.
you're
So
sort of
I'm
busy.
busy, yeah, and I do a few readings and do a few commissions and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty busy, but it's great work because what I'm just doing what I'd love to encourage everybody to do, which is just be their authentic selves and find their own practice, which is
And
exactly what.
create and just be yourself. And
Yeah,
I wished I'd have known this years ago. I really do. I just, I'm probably the happiest I've ever been. It's weird, isn't it?
I love
Um,
it.
yeah, yeah. So
So what? Tell me what's made you happy and what
being ill,
being ill made you happy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Being so ill last year, and it made me see things for exactly what they were. And then this year, when I've been able to get out, because I didn't go out really much last year because I couldn't. And then this year, being able to go out and connecting with the land and sitting with bees all day, yeah, and insects and just being Sean in nature,
Mm.
it kind of opened everything up for me. And then I looked at certain books and things, and I thought, I don't need them anymore. You know, I've I've learned what I need to know. It's time to pass them on to somebody else. You know,
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I think I'm always open to learning and things like that. But like I'm in a place now, Sean, when I don't want to be learning anymore. Really, not academic stuff.
Yeah. I mean, learning from lived experience,
Lived
maybe.
experience, but nothing
Yeah.
academic anymore. I'm done with it. I know enough. What am I going to do with it anyway? You know what I mean? I ain't going to write a great big occult knowledge book.
And a lot of people have done that, haven't they? But nobody is doing what you do. I mean, I don't know if are you familiar with the psychologist James Hillman? Have you ever read his books?
I haven't.
I mean, it's, he's a massive. He was a massive student of Carl Jung, and I think he ran the Jung Society. But in essence, his philosophy was we. I think he called it acorn theory that we're all here to basically be your own oak tree. You know,
Yeah,
you're not here to be someone else's. I mean, I'm
yeah,
really reducing it down to,
yeah,
but I really believe that. I think we're all like unique and we all have our, and it's interesting, I don't know, with this sort of Pluto in Aquarius thing and all of the various other transits which are going on, it feels like everybody is suddenly stepping up with their own contribution to like the consciousness as
yeah,
opposed to just taking bits from other people. I kind of love that.
yeah, yeah.
I,
It
I,
is.
I love that.
It's there's definitely like kind of a shift change happening.
Yeah, I can feel it too. I love your thing about being with the bees. Have you come across? I can't remember where you do it, but I'm sure you could Google it. Some guy somewhere has got this. It's like a kind of a beehive contraption that the bees live underneath, and you can go and lie down with all these thousands of bees, and they can't sting you, but you can just get the vibration off them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, apparently it's amazing because I went and did a beekeeping course last year, and because I just love bees, I don't
Yeah.
have space for bees. I mean, I've only got a little place. My neighbours would probably hate me if there was 10,000 bees on their washing line. But but it was really weird. I think they all thought I was a bit of a weirdo because when I got to the course, when you got a chance to work with the hives, I just took the top off and stuck my head in because I just wanted to. I had a hat on, but I just wanted to feel it, and so I can't wait to experience that. Yeah, apparently you can sleep. You can sleep in this bed, and there's thousands of bees underneath, and so
Just fascinate me, Sean, and watching them so close. Because like when I sit down in the garden, I sit like probably about 3 inches away from the lavender, and so we all know like that. That's a major bee attractor plant. And they were literally right by my face. And looking at them like really face head on and seeing, studying the behavior and things. It's just fascinating. Same with butterflies and everything like that. And so,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
just nature. It's such a wonderful thing,
really
is
is.
to
And it has honestly been life changing for me,
it's so simple, isn't it? Funny enough, you just have to get to these ideas when you're ready, don't you?
You do. Yeah.
I've done tons of different. I haven't got the painting, but this is a print that someone's ordered. I've done loads and loads of work and loads of different modalities and courses and you name it. And a bit like you, this was Lunasa about 3 years ago, and I was in Wiltshire. At this Neolithic site called Devil's Den, which is amazing. And I did this painting which someone bought, but I've got a print of it. And it was this. So this was the kind of harvest, and it's this huge, big white horse head kind of came out of the land. And the message was, this is the medicine. This is all you need. You just need the earth. It's all here. That was what they said. You don't need anything else. That was, and so at that point I kind of put a lot of stuff down as well,
Yeah, yeah, you do.
and,
You
and
do come to that place where you think, that's it. I don't need it anymore.
yeah, it doesn't mean you don't learn. It just means that you learn in a different way,
You
doesn't it?
do. I
You
don't
know,
want to walk barefoot. And Sean, another thing as well, I'm just always barefoot, and I never used to be like that. You know, I just want to go barefoot everywhere now, and you can't, can you? You know what I mean?
well, you can't. Well, some people do, but I mean, it could be uncomfortable. But it's just about earthiness, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like the earthworm card in the deck. Again, this is another kind of real, because some of them, like I say, some of them are very sort of classic journeys with a drum, but the earthworm card was with drums, but was completely different. So I was invited to go and do some workshops in a centre in King's Lynn in Norwich. It's a really fancy place, and which I actually ended up never going to, because I always like to go and visit the space first and see if the earth wants me there. I think it's really important to not just turn up, because like in Avebury, it was 12 years before I did workshops in Avebury, because I think you have to really wait for the right time.
yeah.
Anyway, I went down there, took a drum, started drumming, and all these millions, it was like something from the Bible, all these millions of worms came up out of the soil. Uh,
Really?
but I think what it was I wonder if the vibration of the drum, they thought it was rain or something.
Maybe, maybe
But
not.
I'll never really know. It's really interesting. All these millions of worms. There was a couple of people there. Oh my God, look at all these worms! And that was the start of that artwork. So which was about the simplicity of just the earth. It's
And
like,
that's one of my favourite cards in the deck, actually.
is it?
Yeah, 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 it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it? How simple simple can be complex, can't it? As well.
it can, but sometimes, it's the way forward, Sean.
Yeah.
Why overcomplicate things when there really isn't any need to do so?
No, it's interesting that, isn't it? I wonder if it is some kind of methodology to keep us buying courses and books
I
and
think
stuff.
so, yeah, yeah. But that's
'Cause-
for another life. That's what we can talk about the next time.
How are we doing for time? Does it feel
We're
like
gonna have
we're
to go because we've been on over an hour now, and I don't want to like you be rudely cut off, disconnected.
okay? Well,
Right,
listen, it's
thank
been
you
such a
so
pleasure. I've got the feeling we could talk for another 3 hours. I'm
we
sure we
could.
probably
We always can, guys.
will.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you, everyone.
I
Thanks for
want
your
you to stay
attention.
there a second. We love you all. Don't forget, if you want to go and get yourself a copy of Sean's deck, visit his website, which is Sean. What's it called?
TheShamansHorse.com.
There you go, theshamansHorse.com. You can also follow Sean on social media, the same name on Instagram. And it has been lovely. So thank
It's
you
been
so much,
so
guys.
nice. Thank you, everyone. And look what just came up out of
Oh
randomly.
my God, look at that. My favorite card. I
There
love
you go, literally. Earthworm. There you go. That's for everyone.
it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Love
Thank you
you
very
all.
much. Bye
Bye.
bye.